Hello, and thank you for joining me for another bit more information and commentary on the coronavirus situation in the going on in the world right now, going on worldwide, which I'm sure you've heard of. Um, yeah, what I wanted to talk about today is what seems to me, at least from my point of view, to be sort of a scary development since the lockdowns and the movement control things, control over your movement and whatnot, quarantines, whatever you want to call them, have been going on for a few weeks to months or a month or longer in some places. So originally, again, the justification for these movement control orders, or the lockdowns, whatever you want to call them, quarantines, was to flatten the curve. And I think most countries have already done that. The curves are either stable or going down in most places. So what is the justification for the lockdowns now? Now we have to worry about, is there going to be a massive spike, which there could be. Of course there could be. Anything can happen, but you will never know that from without actually doing it. I mean, we could speculate on all the things that can go wrong, and of course it would be horrible if that happened. It would be absolutely terrible if that happened. But we can't live our lives in contingency plans. We can't live our lives based on what could go wrong, can we? It isn't really a rational way to live. It isn't really living at all, is it? So we have to ask ourselves that question. Is it right to, is it the best way to live, to be worried about everything that can go wrong, especially concerning a virus? I mean, yeah, I mean, many things could go wrong, and there could be a spike in cases. There could be a lot of things. There could not be a spike in cases. We could build up herd immunity, but we'll never know that until we actually try it. Yeah, things could go wrong, but things can go right. That's called taking chances in life, and we all have to take chances in life. That's life. Life is risk. Let's be honest with ourselves. Life is risk. And the basic fact is, the basic reality is, we'll never build up herd immunity if we don't allow this virus to actually play out through the population. People that are vulnerable, people that are susceptible, people that have conditions that put them at higher risk, should certainly be quarantined. They should certainly be protected. But the rest of the population, I mean, in my opinion anyway, in my personal opinion, needs to go about their lives. People need to go about their lives, need to live their lives. Okay. Anyway, so that being said, the main topic that I wanted to cover in this video is how the media and some governments are talking about essentially the martial law that many countries are under now. It is a martial law. Let's call it what it is. They use different terms like, whatever. It's a control of movement. It's a quarantine. It's this and that. Come on, let's call it what it is. It is martial law. I know it's a scary word for a lot of people, but that's essentially what it is. And when you have a situation of martial law, it has to be temporary, because if it's not, then it's pretty scary actually. But the main point of this video, the things I wanted to talk about were how it's being presented by the media and by some governments. They're actually trying to put a positive spin on martial law. They're trying to, they're telling you that, oh, CO2 is going to go down, or there's no crime on the streets. There's been no robberies, there's been no rapes, there's been no murders. Well, of course, I mean, if you want to create peace and conflict in a country, I mean, you can nuke it. If you want peace and if you want to numb the pain, or get rid of the pain of a cancer patient, you can always shoot them. But that does work. But is that really the best solution? So this just this strange spin that's been going on. It's trying to put a positive spin basically on martial law. Let's be honest, trying to justify the conditions people are under. We've gone from flattening the curve being the goal, oh, this is temporary, we know it's terribly inconvenient and we don't want you people to be out of work, we don't want you to lose your business or, what have you. So this is only temporary, it's just a couple weeks, and now, many places are extending it now, and they just keep moving the goalpost, now, it's now, and first it was flattening the curve, then it's, we need a vaccine, and then we need to make sure that there are no coronavirus cases anywhere, in the country or anywhere on the planet, before anyone can, resume their normal lives. This is, it just the goalpost just keeps being moved further and further, and it's and then and in addition to that, they're trying to put a positive spin on it by saying, oh, it's good for the environment. Think about how wonderful it is for the environment. Well, yeah, okay, so maybe it is good for the environment, but is that really the best for, the best balanced approach to the situation? It would be good for the environment if, all the people of the earth suddenly died. Okay, that would be wonderful for the planet. But is that a great solution? Is that a reasonable, is that a rational solution? Or, or to lock everybody in their homes forever because it would be great for the environment. That is really scary logic. That is really disturbing logic. Okay, and I'm all for the environment. I'm all for the environment and protecting the environment, being stewards for the environment, and having a clean place to live. But using, trying to put a positive spin on the situation by saying, there's no, it's great for the environment that everyone's locked down and there's no people and people can't go about their lives and they can't work and they can't drive and they're going out of their minds, sitting in their homes. So, but it's good for the environment. That's kind of to me that seems, like black comedy almost. It's just tragically comic, in my opinion. And also, the fact that's saying there's no crime, there's no crime. Well, of course, there's no people, you could eliminate crime too if you wanted to just put, soldiers on the street everywhere, at night and institute a curfew in every country in the world forever and ever and ever. Yeah, there would be no crime. Yeah. But is that really the best solution for society? Is that really the best is that the best way to go about things? So you do see this scary trend where a lot of countries and a lot of major media organizations are putting a positive spin on the lockdown situation worldwide by saying it's good for the environment and it's good for crime rates. It's good for bringing down the crime rates, which I'm sure it is. I'm not disputing it, but why are they all of a sudden putting this positive? We've gone from flattening the curve, and this is just a temporary measure, and we know it's really inconvenient and bad for you, and it's bad for the for your country. To all of a sudden there's a positive spin on it, and it's good for you. It's good for the world, and it's good for crime rates. That's kind of sick in my opinion. It's kind of like a sick joke, really. When you think of how many people are being affected by this virus, and how many people have lost their jobs, and how many people, are going to lose their business and maybe their homes, and they break up their families or whatever, or just suffering, unbelievably under this crisis, and then to pick up the newspaper or watch the news or listen to a government official, and he's telling you that this is good for the environment, and this is and the crime rates are low, is really, in my opinion, is kind of a sick joke. And what's even worse than that is that it's almost like they're trying to they're trying to put a positive spin on it, because then they can just say, wow, this is the best thing for the world, let's just keep this going. Like they're trying to convince you, or trying to drop little hints in your brain, whether it's the media or the governments, that this is a good thing, we need to keep this going, because it's good for the environment and crime rates are low, and and people aren't on the street, and so that society's peaceful, or society's, I don't know, calm or something, and nobody's driving and nobody's going about their lives. So yeah, and that to me is the scary part. Like they just keep dropping these little hints, that this is a good thing, and therefore we need to keep this going for a lot longer, because it's good for the environment, and crime rates are low, and there've been no robberies and rapes or murders or things like that, which is certainly a good thing. But I mean, it's kind of a sledgehammer. It's kind of a sledgehammer and a machine gun, to solve a problem that could be solved other ways, so, and I don't think it's really the best overall solution to keep a lockdown or a martial law situation going on forever, because it's good for the environment and it's good for, to keep crime rates low. Anyway, so and that to me again is the scary part, that some, whether it's media organizations or governments, are really trying to doing everything they can to put a positive spin on this situation, because and it does make you wonder, why are they doing that? It's because they're trying to plant seeds in your brain that this is something that is a permanent situation, that they want this to like go on forever, or what. Anyway, so I hope that's not the situation, but it does kind of make you wonder, why all of a sudden are we getting like a positive spin on the situation, like, and seeds are being planted in our brains, that hey, this is a good thing, there's some good reasons for this, even though you're not working, even though many people are not working, and they're in danger of financial, bankruptcy. Anyway, all right. Anyway, so that there was one thing I wanted to point out, a couple things that I wanted to point out. So just some food for thought, and feel free to offer your own opinion. This is my opinion, and it certainly is not everyone's opinion, and it could be controversial, but this is certainly how I feel about it and how I think about it. And anyway, so thank you for joining me, and please comment. And if you have anything to say, please comment about it. It's we need to kind of collaborate on this, and because I don't think any of us are going to get the justice, or the voice that we need to hear, or to be able to speak from the media or from governments now. I think a lot of us are just going to have to rely on ourselves, and what we can do for ourselves, and we need to stick together. Anyway, okay, thank you very much, and good luck, and everyone stay safe out there, and stay safe, help yourself, and always help each other. Thank you. Bye bye.